Hello, my name is Stu Morris, and I am curator of America's Packard Museum. We're back with our third video featuring our new exhibit, Ask the Woman Who Owns One, talking about women's stories in automotive history. Today we're going to talk about our 3 race cars driven by groundbreaking women over the last 50 years. The first car we want to talk about in this video is this 1977 Indy car, piloted by the very first woman to ever race at the Indianapolis 500, Janet Guthrie. Before Guthrie even entered the track at the 1977 Indianapolis 500, there was controversy, but not the kind you might think. The line, "Gentlemen, start your engines," that was made famous by track owner Tony Holman, was no longer applicable. The week before the race, management worked up all sorts of reasons not to change the line, with one being that the handheld external starter that fired the engines was operated by men. Kay Bignotti, wife of famous chief mechanic George Bignotti, went up to Guthrie and declared, "We can't let them get away with this." With that statement, Bignotti became part of Janet Guthrie's crew, operating the starter. Finally, Tony Holman relented, and on May 29, 1977, to start the Indianapolis 500, while clearly looking at a piece of paper, he said, "In company with the first lady to ever qualify for the Indianapolis 500, gentlemen, start your engines." Unfortunately, Janet only finished 27 laps in that race because her turbo Offenhauser engine had a broken timing gear. However, she did return in 1978, and she managed to finish the race, and she finished it in 9th, and she did so with a broken wrist. Janet Guthrie paved the way for these next 2 drivers, but I want to skip ahead to 2005, the first time a woman ever led the Indianapolis 500, and she did so in this car, and her name, Danica Patrick. Patrick's early career mimics what we see in F1 and other top-level motorsports today. She started karting at the age of 10, and with the permission of her parents, Danica dropped out of high school and moved to Europe to compete in Formula Ford. When she no longer could secure funding, she returned to the U.S. to compete in various open-wheeled series, finally getting the chance to compete in IndyCar in 2005. On Sunday, May 29, 2005, Danica Patrick started the Indianapolis 500 in 4th place, would lead the race for 19 laps, and would have to pull back to 4th as her fuel consumption strategy had to change if she were to finish the race. Despite that, Danica Patrick was the first woman to ever lead the Indy 500, and eventually in 2008, she was the first woman to ever win an IndyCar event at the Japan 300. For her performance in 2005, she was named IndyCar Rookie of the Year and Indianapolis 500 Rookie of the Year. However, she wasn't the first woman to receive that last honor. That person was Lyn St. James. Lyn St. James had a very storied racing career, including running the 12 Hours of Sebring, the 24 Hours of Daytona, and the 24 Hours of Le Mans. She set multiple speed records, including a closed course record for women at 227 miles per hour. In 1984, she competitively raced this Argo JM 16. This Argo was built around the legendary Ford Cosworth DFV V8, which some consider to be the most successful engine in racing history. The car was built for the IMSA GTP Light Series and driven by co-drivers Jim Truman and Lyn St. James, managing to finish a best of 3rd place at the Watkins Glen 500. Shortly thereafter, Lyn would stop campaigning with this car, and it was sold to its current owner in 1985. Lyn would go on to race 62 IMSA events, win 6, and finish in the top 5 17 times. Currently, she is the only woman ever to win an IMSA race without any co-drivers. Perhaps Lyn's greatest achievement was winning Indianapolis 500 Rookie of the Year, as I previously discussed, in 1992. She was the first woman to ever do this, and she was the oldest person to do this at 45 years old. She was our keynote speaker and honored guest at last month's annual Spring Fling Gala here at America's Packard Museum, And during one of her speeches, she said something that really stuck with me. She said, "Always be authentic," and I encourage you to do the same. If you've been following along with our videos so far, you know that Miss Margaret Dunning's car has left our exhibit. And I promised you something really excellent to replace it. And here it is, a 1934 MG that is exceptionally rare with an awesome story. If you want to learn more about that, remember to like and follow us and leave a comment down below. Again, my name is Stu Morris for America's Packard Museum. Thank you so much for watching.